Robert Mugabe was the first black president of Zimbabwe. He was in power from the country's independence in 1980 until 2017, ruling with an iron fist for 37 years. In 1996, he fell in love with his typist, a woman by the name of Grace, who he later married and had children with. His first lady of Zimbabwe, Grace Mugabe, developed the nickname Gucci Grace for a lavish lifestyle at state expense. She is known to be a cruel woman, but additionally she had an unquenchable thirst for power. Despite being the first lady, head of the ZANU-PF Women's League and one who ran the country directly through manipulation of her 90-year-old husband, it would have availed her nothing. Grace desired to establish Zimbabwe into a family dynasty, ruled by only those that bore the name Mugabe. That is why she conspired against the first female vice president of Zimbabwe, Grace Mugabe, and got her fired from her post through whispering into her husband's ears that Joyce was plotting a coup against him. Joyce was speculated by many to be Robert's pick as his successor, a rumor that infuriated Grace. After Joyce was removed, Mugabe replaced her by his last vice president pick, Mnangagwa. He too was targeted by Grace, as her mission was to whisper lies into the ears of her husband that any and all, apart from her, were conspirators against him, then have him select her as his pick for VP, and then after Mugabe's death, take power and keep it in the family forever. As her plan was to oppose any and all persons that Mugabe placed in the post of vice president other than her, and she knew that Mugabe could drop dead at any time, so she wanted to be the one to be vice president, so as to succeed him. Mnangagwa was fired because of this. He then fled the country. But after Mnangagwa was fired by Mugabe, the military stepped in. They knew of Grace's intentions and were opposed to it, and so they established a military coup that brought back Mnangagwa, who was then named head of ZANU-PF replacing Mugabe, and then the Mugabe was obliged by the military to step aside, which he peacefully did. Grace's plans went horribly wrong, but she still sought power, even after the resignation of her husband. She was the one that masterminded an attempted assassination plot against the then president Mnangagwa, as in her mind his death would elevate her back to power, seeing as she was the second most senior and recognizable politician in the nation after Mnangagwa, which would mean if he died, she would be the next feasible choice for president, seeing as Mugabe was against returning to politics after his resignation. But the bomb plot failed, and so Mnangagwa is still president to this day, while Mugabe is dead, and Grace is lurking in the shadows, still whispering into the ears of those that hold dear to her plans to come to power. A woman that once held great power and influence was brought to a grieving widow with nothing to her name. Her story shows how lack of contentment and a time of great gain can lead to the crumbling of what one already has.